So good, so good, so good.
New markdowns up to 70% off are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Stock up and save big on shoes, tops, dresses, accessories, and more must-haves for summer. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
When you finally find your thing, you want the whole world to know about that thing. So you use a thing called Canva to make it an even bigger and better thing. Whether you want to create flyers for that thing, make presentations for that thing, or design merch for that thing, you can do anything. So people can see your thing, feel your thing, love your thing. The next thing you know, it's a thing. Canva, the thing that makes anything a thing.
Imagine taking an exam that, basically determines the entire trajectory of your professional life.
Right, the stakes are just incredibly high.
Yeah, but to get to your desk, you don't just show your ID. You walk past paramilitary guards, you pass through electronic signal jammers, and the question paper sitting on your desk was literally airlifted by the Air Force.
I mean, it sounds like some kind of dystopian sci-fi film, honestly.
It really does. But today, that is just a regular Monday morning reality for hundreds of thousands of students.
Yeah, and it really sets the tone for everything we're looking at today. We are seeing these massive institutions pushed to their absolute limits and the extreme measures they are taking just to hold things together.
Exactly. So welcome to this deep dive. Today we are unpacking a really dense 11-part news briefing from June 22nd, 2026.
It's a massive stack of sources today.
It really is. We've got stuff spanning national security, corporate accountability, political upheaval, and even some historic sports moments.
And our mission for you listening is to dissect these 11 distinct events to really understand the massive growing demand for accountability taking place across the board right now.
Okay, let's unpack this. Starting right with that exam scenario we just mentioned. The headline reads, NEET re-exam conducted amid tight security after May paper leak.
Right.
We are talking about lakhs of students taking a high-stakes medical retest.
And just for our global listeners, lakhs means hundreds of thousands of aspirants.
Exactly. Hundreds of thousands of people retaking it because the original May 3rd exam was completely compromised.
And the response from the National Testing Agency, the NTA, was wild. They didn't just tighten the rules, they basically militarized the logistics.
How so?
Well, they deployed over 138,000 CCTV cameras.
Wow.
Yeah, and over 51,000 jammers across 5,440 centers in 551 cities.
That is just a staggering amount of hardware. I mean, they even had to fix this bizarre glitch where a candidate from Nagpur was mistakenly allotted a testing center in Abu Dhabi.
Oh yeah, the logistical nightmare of trying to coordinate all this in a panic.
Right. But look at the response, Jammers, the Indian Air Force airlifting papers, the Department of Posts involved. It feels like treating a symptom rather than the disease.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, are we actually fixing the systemic root cause of these leaks, or is this just putting like a Fort Knox level militarized Band-Aid on a broken trust system?
What's fascinating here is that tension between the state flexing its logistical muscle and the actual problem. Because the core commodity they lost isn't a piece of paper, right? It's institutional trust.
Right, the trust is gone.
Exactly. And your Band-Aid analogy is spot on. A jammer stops a student from cheating via Bluetooth, sure, but it doesn't stop a systemic leak at the administrative level.
No, it doesn't.
Furthermore, consider the psychological toll on these students. You're already incredibly stressed about the test, and now you're walking into this environment of military-grade surveillance. The structural fix on paper doesn't immediately heal the psychological fracture these students are experiencing.
It's just immense pressure. And, it's fascinating to see the government deploy these military-style logistics domestically because they are simultaneously making a massive permanent expansion of their actual military footprint out on the oceans.
Right, the naval expansion.
Yeah, our next headline reads, PM Modi commissions 3 major indigenous naval vessels, pushes maritime self-reliance.
This is a huge shift.
It is. Prime Minister Narendra Modi just commissioned the stealth frigate INS Dunagiri, which is armed with BrahMos missiles.
Right, serious firepower.
Yeah, along with the anti-submarine craft INS Agray and the survey vessel INS Sanshadhak. And he also announced a 70,000 crore rupee incentive package for the shipping sector.
That's a massive financial commitment.
It really is. He explicitly stated that India needs to be a creator and decider in the global maritime domain.
Which is a fundamental pivot, if you think about it. For decades, India's naval strategy was largely about purchasing defense hardware from other nations.
Right.
But this is the physical manifestation of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the self-reliance policy. We're talking about 40 indigenously built warships recently joining the fleet, with 45 more under construction right now.
That's incredible scale. When he says creator and decider, to me it sounds like the goal is to stop being a tenant in the global ocean and start acting like the landlord.
I mean, I wouldn't say landlord exactly just because international waters don't really work that way.
Fair point. Fair point.
But it's more about securing your own supply chains so no one else can dictate your economic terms. The Prime Minister explicitly linked this maritime strength to deep-sea resources, undersea data networks, and critical minerals.
So it's wider than defense.
Exactly. This isn't just about missiles. It's an economic strategy built on bending steel and building physical manufacturing hardware domestically.
But, that ambitious push for domestic manufacturing and industrial scaling, it has to be matched with rigorous safety oversight on the ground.
It has to be, yeah.
Because when a factory owner is allowed to prioritize speed over safety, the human cost is just devastating. Which brings us to a really tough story.
Yeah, this one is awful.
The headline is, 7 women dead, dozens hospitalized after ammonia leak at Tamil Nadu seafood factory.
Just a horrific tragedy.
It happened at the Manjangirani seafood unit. 67 workers were rushed to hospitals.
Yeah.
But what really stands out to me in the sources is the specific demographic here.
Right.
Doctors noted that almost all of the critical patients are young women, aged 24 to 25. 15 to 16 of them had to be intubated. And authorities have basically just ordered an investigation into a, quote, valve failure.
And that phrase, valve failure, is doing a lot of heavy lifting for the factory owners.
Right, because a valve failure is just a mechanical issue.
Exactly. But the environment that allows a simple mechanical failure to poison nearly 70 people, that is a massive regulatory and systemic failure.
Yeah. With these young women literally fighting for their lives, does a formal investigation into a valve actually lead to systemic oversight changes? Or is the factory owner just going to pay a regulatory fine and reopen?
Historically, it leans heavily toward just paying the fine. And that is the tragic tension of rapid industrialization.
Right.
When a nation scales up its exports and manufacturing, the frontline workers are often the most vulnerable demographics, like these young women. The doctors are hoping their youth helps them physically recover, but this incident exposes a massive gap between the country's industrial ambitions and its actual occupational safety nets.
And when those safety nets fail, when institutional trust is broken, public...
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Frustration inevitably spills right out into the streets.
It always does.
Our next headline reads, CJP's Abhijit Dipke leads overnight sit-in at Jantar Mantar, demands Pradhan's resignation.
Right, taking it back to the exam crisis.
Exactly. The Cockroach Janta Party founder is leading a massive protest in New Delhi over the NEET paper leaks we discussed earlier.
And their demands are pretty specific.
They want Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation and 1 crore rupees in compensation for the families of students who tragically died by suicide.
Yeah.
The protesters are banging plates, they're claiming their water supply was deliberately cut off, and climate activist Sonam Wangchuk is actually threatening a hunger strike.
Now, before we dig into the specifics of this, we really must explicitly remind you listening that we are entirely neutral here.
Absolutely. We are not taking sides or endorsing the protesters' viewpoints or the government's response. We are strictly and impartially reporting on the demands and events as presented in the source material.
Exactly. We're just looking at the mechanics of what's happening.
Right, so looking at those tactics, banging plates and threatening hunger strikes, how much pressure can the center realistically ignore before dialogue is forced?
Well, modern civic protest is all about the mechanics of disruption. You can't just stand with a sign anymore and expect a response.
Right, it's too easy to ignore.
Exactly. Banging plates is highly intentional. It creates this auditory disruption that cannot be ignored by the media or the state. DIPC also explicitly asked NEET aspirants to join the protest after their re-exam to swell the numbers safely.
And Wang Chuk's hunger strike threat.
That elevates the stakes entirely. A local sit-in can be ignored or waited out, but a high-profile figure engaging in a hunger strike historically forces political hands in India. It essentially manufactures a national moral crisis.
So it forces a conversation, and, this demand for institutional transparency, it isn't limited to students or factories. It has reached the highest echelons of cultural and political projects in the country.
Yeah, this next one is huge.
Headline reads, Karja alleges 5,000 crore misuse in Ayodhya Ram temple construction, seeks probe.
This is during the speech in Bengaluru, right?
Right. Yeah. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge alleged that 5,000 crore rupees was misused, claiming the temple was built to, quote, loot money.
Wow.
He demanded a probe and heavily criticized the ruling administration regarding taxes, the NEET exam, and the Ram temple, citing a lack of financial accounts going all the way back to L.K. Advani's Rath Yatra.
Okay, and again, we have to pause here. A critical reminder to our listeners.
Yeah.
We are absolutely neutral on this.
100%.
We are not validating Kharge's claims or defending the government. We are solely conveying the allegations exactly as they appear in the news briefing.
Right. But analyzing the tactic itself, given the massive cultural magnitude of the Ram temple, do financial allegations like this actually shift public sentiment, or is it just creating political noise?
It's a calculated rhetorical strategy.
Right.
What Kharge is doing is attempting to decouple the religious sanctity of the project from the administrative execution of it.
Interesting. How so?
By throwing out a highly specific number, that 5,000 crore figure, and demanding a probe, he is taking the ruling party's strongest cultural symbol and reframing it as an issue of everyday financial accountability.
Oh, I see. So it's essentially saying, revere the temple, but audit the builders.
Precisely. It's a way for political leaders to link religious projects to financial transparency, directly challenging the ruling party's narrative on their own turf.
Makes sense. And while the opposition is focused on these financial allegations, ruling coalitions are busy actively dismantling the opposition's political capital.
Yeah, let's talk about Operation Tiger.
Right. Headline, Shinde declares Operation Tiger successful as 6 Shiv Sena, UDT MPs, move to join his faction.
A major defection.
Massive. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has pulled off this move, where 6 MPs from Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena faction, including Ashtakar and Nimbalkar, have crossed over.
And Thackeray is understandably furious, accusing the BJP of breaking his party.
Exactly. And, as always, we are maintaining strict, impartial reporting on this political split without taking any sides. But Shinde is calling this a huge success because they secured exactly a 2/3 split. Why is that specific fraction so important?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's all about the raw mechanics of India's anti-defection laws.
Okay.
Normally, if an elected MP abandons their party, they are immediately disqualified from their seat.
Right.
However, the law has a loophole. If 2/3 of the party's legislators break away together, it is legally considered a merger or a legitimate party split, not a defection. So they keep their seats.
So it's almost like a corporate hostile takeover. But they aren't citing ideology for the split. They're using a, quote, lack of development funds and administrative paralysis as the justification for breaking rank.
Yeah, that's the political cover. They use administrative paralysis to justify ideological shifts to their voters.
And that kind of calculated, aggressive dismantling of the opposition is exactly what we just witnessed in the world of sports this weekend.
Oh, absolutely brutal dominance on the pitch.
The headline reads, Sooryavanshji's 29-ball 94 powers India A to Tri-Series title in Dambulla.
Just an unbelievable match.
India A beat Sri Lanka A, posting an absurd 377 for 9. But the real story is Vaibhav Sooryavanshi.
Yes.
He scored 94 runs off just 29 balls, and he hit the fastest list F50 off just 11 balls.
It's hard to even process that speed.
First, just clarify for our casual sports listeners, what exactly is a List A match?
List A refers to domestic limited overs cricket. It's one tier below international one-day.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Internationals, or ODIs. It's highly, highly competitive professional cricket.
And he hits a 50 off 11 balls.
Yeah.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The sources note he was reprimanded for an on-field scrap earlier in the tour, and then he comes out and does this. I mean, scoring 94 off 29 balls isn't just batting, it's practically playing a video game on easy mode.
It really is. It's an assertion of absolute psychological dominance. Yeah. Just look at the context. India A was at 132 in just 8.5 overs before he fell. He scored 35% of his team's total runs in a fraction of the time. When a batter plays with that level of aggressive stroke making and audacity, it completely destroys the bowler's margin for error.
But Indian cricket also experienced the exact other side of a relentless record-breaking assault this weekend.
Yeah, the tables turned completely.
Headline: Cap's all-round brilliance powers South Africa to record chase against India.
Historic chase.
South Africa women successfully chased down 158. Marizanne Kapp was incredible. She took 2 for 27 with the ball and then hit an unbeaten 81.
She was unstoppable.
But India started strong. They were 59 for 2 in the power play, and they even had South Africa reeling at 25 for 2.
Right.
When India had them at 25 for 2, how does a single 97-run partnership between Kapp and Brits completely rewire the psychology of the fielding team?
It's all about the pacing of T20 chases. Kapp didn't just swing blindly. She recognized India felt comfortable, so she deliberately targeted specific vulnerabilities in the middle overs. She specifically went after India's debutante spinners. By aggressively attacking the least experienced bowlers, she forced defensive field placements and completely unraveled India's momentum.
Wow. Well, from fierce pushbacks on the pitch, we moved to a high-stakes standoff on the global stage where simply walking away was the ultimate aggressive move.
Yeah, international diplomacy taking a hit.
The headline reads, Iran walks out of U.S.-Iran talks after skipping planned photo op amid Trump's fresh threat.
This happened fast.
Really fast.
Chip.
These were planned talks in Switzerland at the Bergenstock Resort. But the Iranian delegation, led by Ghalibaf and Arachi, completely refused the U.S. photo op and just walked out in protest of Donald Trump's fresh military threats.
Just packed up.
Yeah. I mean, a skipped photo op in high-level diplomacy is essentially slamming the door before you even enter the room.
Absolutely. Because in international diplomacy, optics are heavily scrutinized.
Right.
They are essentially geopolitical signaling. Think about it from Tehran's perspective. The optics of a handshake and a smiling photograph with American officials right after a public military threat from the U.S.
Oh, that'd be bad.
It would be political suicide back home. By walking out, they send a clear signal that negotiations can't happen under the threat of violence.
Makes total sense. And, in diplomacy, optical actions are heavily scrutinized. But back home, regulators are applying that same intense, literal scrutiny to the words printed on our food.
This is a really interesting pivot for consumer rights.
Headline reads, CCPA finds Storia Foods and English Oven for misleading 100% claims.
The Central Consumer Protection Authority stepping in.
Right. They handed out 1 lakh rupee fines. Storia was selling 100% tender coconut water that was actually just 9.6% concentrate mixed with water and INS 202.
Which is a preservative.
Exactly. And English Oven was selling 100% Atta bread that was only 87% whole wheat. Now, let me push back a bit here.
Go for it.
Don't consumers implicitly know that 100% Atta bread still has to have other ingredients, like yeast and water, to actually make it bread? Isn't this just expected marketing fluff?
This raises an important question about how we regulate marketing. English Oven argued exactly what you just said.
See.
But the CCPA's legal stance is fascinating. Under the new guidelines, the intent of the advertiser is completely irrelevant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What matters is the literal interpretation by the ordinary consumer.
Mm-hmm.
If you print 100% on the box, the law now demands it is literally mathematically true, completely stripping away those old industry marketing norms.
Wow. So regulators can force companies to change their packaging. but no authority can protect India's largest sector from the massive, unregulated disruption heading its way.
The AI ways.
Headline: AI upheaval threatens India's IT outsourcing giants as investor fears deepen.
This is keeping a lot of people up at night.
It is. AI is automating coding and testing. Job creation projections in the sector have dropped from 250,000 down to just 135,000. Accenture has issued earnings warnings. I mean, are Indian IT firms basically holding the keys to the world's best horse carriage factory right as the AI Model T rolls off the assembly line?
It's a striking analogy, but the core vulnerability here is specifically the labor-intensive billing model.
The billable hours.
Exactly. For decades, Indian IT...
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 45% off site-wide, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
He grew by throwing massive teams of engineers at routine software maintenance and billing for every hour. AI shatters that model because clients don't need a team of 50 anymore.
Right.
But there is a pivot happening. Companies focused on physical AI and engineering, like Tata Tech and KPIT, are showing massive resilience. The pivot from basic software services to hardware-linked opportunities is required, but it's going to be a steep climb.
So what does this all mean? We've covered so much ground today, from high-security exams and political chess to the food we eat and the AI threatening our jobs.
It's all connected by that demand for accountability.
Exactly. Whether it's the code you write, the bread you buy, or the institutions you trust, the underlying systems are facing unprecedented stress tests.
They are. And I want to leave you with a final thought on that AI story. If AI continues to automate the knowledge work that defined India's economic rise over the last 20 years, and as the nation pivots toward physical defense and manufacturing, are we entering a new era where blue-collar and hardware skills will ultimately outearn and outlast white-collar coding jobs?
Wow. A complete flip of the script. Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive, and we will catch you next time.